One afternoon, the main character have a visitor in his house, and it was his green-haired lady neighbor. Then she always treats the main character's home like her own, because they were childhood friends. The main character suddenly got a special request, and he wanted them to play a two-player game in real life. She refused his request, because they were not dating. So, the main character reasoned out that they were childhood friends, and this type of relationship means that he will have some special benefits, since that is the usual storyline of childhood friends. The green-haired lady still refused, so the main character was guilt-tripping her for making his cultural instinct aggressive every time. Then she told the main character that they were not real childhood friends in the first place, because she just recently become his neighbor 2 years ago. The main character was still insisting his request, and keep on asking her to have some bonding moments with him. Then she asked the main character about his sudden urging behavior today. The main character explained that last night he was doing a solo exercise at midnight, and he opened the window to get some spring breeze. Then he heard a cultured noise from the neighbor's window, and that window was from her room, and he was sure that she was doing a solo performance last night. So, the main character started teasing her for being a woman of culture. Then she felt embarrassed, and her fight response started beating the main character. The main character come up with the conclusion that instead of playing solo, they should team up together to be energy efficient. Then she wanted the main character to set up some wholesome mood first, so the main character gave her a hug. The green-haired girl requested for a kiss first, and the main character granted her request. Then the main character unleashed her front yard melons, and he was amazed that she was an excellent farmer for growing a massive fruit, and he was handling it with care. In addition, he was also giving her some helping hands. After that, the main character asked about her midnight motivation last night. Then she told the main character that she was imagining a situation that the main character was force-feeding her. The main character made her fantasy into reality, and she was now having a feeding frenzy. Then she gets into the quadratic position just like in her imagination, and they have the clapping exercise. The green-haired lady was happy that her fantasy was now a reality, and she enjoys playing together than solo ranked games. Eventually, they reach the finale, so the main character gave her the rod of destruction. Then she received a creamy vanilla milkshake, and they will have a team play from now on. They went to have dinner together, but the main character used the steal skill to snatch her underground armor, and he equipped it as a crown. After their dinner, the green-haired lady have an angry look, and the main character was trying to please her. Then she wanted the main character to return her sacred underground armor. However, the main character sensed that she enjoyed the commander mode, so he checked the underground tunnel, and found some leaking crystal clear mineral water. Then the main character started manually digging her Mariana Trench, and his helping hand was only helpful in this event, and not washing dishes. Anyways, he commanded her to eat a banana split. Then she started savoring the fresh dessert using the Gulp Gulp 3000 method. The green-haired lady was now having a good mood, so she wanted to go back to the main character's room to have some special bonding moments. However, the main character wanted her to continue doing the Gulp Gulp 3000 in the kitchen. This might be a risky move, because they might get caught by the other people living in this house. However, the green-haired lady have reached her limit, and she wanted the main character to visit her private property. Then they have the clapping exercise, and she was enjoying this moment. Then the green-haired lady was having a lot of thrilling sensation, because any time, they can be caught doing indoor recreational activities. Eventually, they were now close to reaching the finish line, so the main character wanted to know her finishing move request. Then the green-haired lady wanted the main character to deposit the forbidden elixir in her sacred sanctuary. So, the main character gave her a creamy vanilla milkshake. The next day, while the green-haired lady was walking, she was approached by the brown-hair lady. The green-hair lady looks tired, so the brown-hair lady asked if the main character was the reason. Then the main character appeared out of nowhere, and he proudly confirmed that he made the green-hair lady tired. So, the green-hair lady was embarrassed. Then the brown-hair lady giggled, and she left the scenario to give the lovebirds some personal space. The main character wanted the green-hair lady to be his bride, and she was willing to accept that. In the next scenario, the two characters were having a conversation through their window, and the green-hair lady was wondering about what marriage life looks like. Then she was wondering about her role as a wife, so the main character told her to do the same thing like yesterday, and he wanted her not to worry too much about the marriage life. Suddenly, the main character reminded her that it was now midnight, and that was the time for her to do her private business. However, she have no plans of doing a solo performance. Then the main character decided that he will do a solo performance. She wanted the main character to close the window, but the main character wanted to keep it open, because she was his motivational material, and he needs to stare at her. Then he wanted her to show him the good stuff to intensify the motivation. So, the green-haired lady felt exhausted from this weird situation. Then she was wondering if the main character was not satisfied yet, because they have too much bonding time yesterday. The main character just wanted to play a single-player game right now, because yesterday was for clapping event. Since the green-haired lady is not willing to show the good stuff, the main character decided to use the power of imagination. Then he is narrating the plot of his imaginary story. The story was about the green-haired lady getting captured by a group of men. Then she was taken to an abandoned warehouse, and she was surrounded by a group of men carrying legendary swords. It was an unfair battle, because it was one versus many, so the green-haired lady received the group activity treatment. Then she was showered with the unholy white magic explosion. The green-haired lady told the main character to stop the storytelling, because she can't handle that treatment. Then she unleashed her melons from their container, so the main character stopped the storytelling. The main character ordered her to show him the cake, because he will do a 3-point shooting behind her. She was not exposing the 100% of her cake factory, so the main character pulled her, and he gave her multiple high five as a punishment. Then the cake was turned into a red velvet cake. The main character aimed his weapon at her, but she wanted him to reserve his shot, because she wanted to have a proper bonding time with him. The main character continued the creamy shooting anyways. However, the green-haired lady did an ultra-fast turnaround clutch, and she is able to catch the white bullets through the Gulp Gulp 3000 defensive technique. Then that very skillful maneuver have amazed the main character's legendary weapon, so it got fully charged again. To fix that hard problem, the green-haired lady offered her sacred sanctuary. So, the main character is now giving her the rod of destruction through the window transaction. Then the main character complimented her for being an excellent servant for his personal needs, and he rewarded her with an explosive creamy vanilla milkshake. The next day, while the main character and the green-haired lady were walking, the brown-haired lady approached them. Then the brown-haired lady noticed that the green-haired lady was blushing, and she have no idea that this phenomenon was caused by the main character holding the entire bakery. Suddenly, the brown-haired lady noticed the collar necklace of the green-haired lady, and she complimented that cool and stylish accessory. After that conversation, the brown-haired lady went ahead of them. Meanwhile, the green-haired lady felt the excitement for being complimented of her fashion. Later that day, the main character and the green-haired lady was doing their clapping exercise at the gym storage facility. Then the main character told her to call the brown-haired lady, because he wanted to be a harem protagonist. She don't want to share her master to others. So, the main character gave her an offer. Then he will give her his maximum power if she will call the brown-haired lady. Of course, the obedient green-haired lady accepted the terms and conditions. The brown-haired lady opened the door, and she saw the clapping events in front of her. Then the green-haired lady requested the brown-haired lady to be the audience, and she was very focused on observing. After a while, the green-haired lady was uninstalled from the legendary sword. Then the brown-haired lady immediately takes over with the Gulp Gulp 3000. The green-haired lady received the NTR treatment. However, she was not angry, and she enjoyed watching the show. Then the main character was now going for the main event. The brown-haired lady was rejecting the idea, because she have a boyfriend. However, she was actually enjoying this scenario, and she was now riding on the Iron Pegasus. Meanwhile, the green-haired lady was giving herself a helping hand while watching the NTR treatment. So, she was now the audience of the live performance. The main character was now going to perform his ultimate skill, but the green-haired lady don't want the main character to share his creamy creations to others. So, the main character told the green-haired lady to become his outlet. Then she opened her disposal bin, and the main character gave her a creamy vanilla milkshake. The main character have conquered the two ladies, and he took a picture for documentary purposes. After that, the main character and the green-haired lady continued their relationship as master and servant. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. Moral lesson of the story: don't create noise during midnight, so you will not be caught. Anyways, here is your special sauce, and make sure that it's limited to the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching.